Maddie from the Woods 2 with 199 says, you ask SJ's consent. What's your fascination with SJ? That's weird. You guys are an odd bunch. Before you jumped on his rake? I know you all have your fan fiction, but this is really just starting to look sad on your part. I kind of feel bad from a guy like Maddie for the Woods because it's like he lives for these people. And then it's just you live for these people and you're obsessed with them and then you act like somehow that's on them. Maddie, you're going to be okay, kiddo. Don't forget your pills before you go out today, all right? And thank you for proving my point that I am a very engaging personality. You know, I got one more thing. I don't want to do this one quite yet because it's a little too much internet for one day, but this Misk lawsuit, I think a lot of people are kind of piling on this guy because it's like the nutless thing to do is just pile on somebody. I mean, this Misk guy, from what I understand, is a giant douche. I don't know anything about him, but I do know that some girl came out, they broke up, and this girl went, he SA'd me, and he probably didn't, but she basically accused him of, and now he's suing her. And now you got like Legal Mindset and these other people who have become less lawyers and more like internet drama farmers. That they're like, this is so hilariously bad. This is so terrible. Like, look, dude, I had to learn a little bit about slander, libel, things like that when you go to broadcasting school, when you take mass communication. You can't just go public and say someone sexually you and not provide some kind of proof. And well, you can, but you open yourself up to defamation. You open yourself up to a lawsuit. So now, I Misk included like Asmongold and other people in this lawsuit. I think that's just settlement chasing. But to watch these lawyers, these so-called lawyers on YouTube get shit so wrong that even just normies can go, well, wait a minute, I think you might just hate this guy and you're kind of brigading. Like, I think brigading online is one of the most nutless things you can do. Because it shows like, I don't have my own opinion. I'm going to follow the herd because I'll get attaboys from strangers, which is pathetic. But to say that this Misk lawsuit against this girl is so bad, haha, he's such a lol, blah, blah, blah. The girl came out and said he sexually assaulted me. You better be able to back that shit up. Or you are open to a lawsuit. You can't go out publicly and say that about someone without opening yourself up to some kind of lawsuit. It's hard to, like, you know, they use that term, they say, believe all women. Well, I mean, you guys know this. I've been lied about once. I mean, and it was from a bitter ex who couldn't handle the fact that they f***ed up their life. And then they end up taking it back publicly because they're like, yeah, I guess I am kind of a f***up. And that, at least that part was nice. But like, I think a lot of what, you know, people say, believe all women. My response has always been, I would love to, but I've known too many of them. The best I can do for you is trust but verify. But there has just been too much because everyone who is either was coming out of here's how you know there was no abuse in a relationship. Ready? When you have a breakup and both parties say, I was abused, neither of you were. You guys were in a shitty relationship and you made each other miserable. But if you claim to be a lawyer on the internet, you should at least think about the basic bare bones facts, defamation especially. If you say something that isn't true and it damages someone's reputation, you leave yourself open to a defamation lawsuit. And it's not what you know, it's what you can prove. And if you say that someone did something like sexual assault, that destroys someone's reputation. They're finished. Those boys at Duke got their scholarships taken away and kicked out of school. And then when it was discovered that it was a lie, so to say, oh, Misk's lawsuit is ridiculous. Maybe the parts where, you know, these outside internet personalities catch strays. But the woman who says he SA'd her and has no proof, he has every right to file a lawsuit. Why wouldn't you? Protect your reputation. So I don't know. I think a lot of people on the internet they pile on to somebody even when that person is right. As a matter of fact, most people who do the pile-ons are usually more pathetic than the actual person. One of my cellmates, when I was in for that 6.5 days, my second cellmate, after I beat the out of the first one, dude, my second cellmate lives in Wisconsin, was driving somewhere for work into Canada. They wouldn't let him into Canada because he had a DUI on his record. So he drove to Sauk Center to get a hotel for the night, hit a deer on his way there, smashed up his car, lost his phone, got pissed off at the hotel, drank a bottle of vodka, I believe, and then realized he didn't have his phone and went out driving to go find his phone, got picked up, got the DUI. Now, he had additional charges added because he was carrying a firearm without a permit. Now, in Minnesota, we don't have reciprocity laws with Wisconsin. So just because you have a concealed weapons permit in Wisconsin does not mean you have one in Minnesota. So if you don't have a Minnesota concealed weapons permit, you can be charged. He didn't have one, no reciprocity. Thus, he got that tacked onto the DUI. That's brutal. By the way, I did find out that if you drink a bottle of vodka, you'll blow a .18. It's actually necessary information to have. I thought it would have been more than that. Joey Caravello with $2 says, Aaron, when's the next fan meetup at Stoney's? I mean, I would argue the next, the next anniversary show. Although I could have maybe a meetup for a victory party in a little while. We could plan a little victory party for something, but who knows when that, the less said about that one, the better. Somebody told me that the main anti-steel toe show barely gets to 500 anymore. That's too bad. Because that, people act like I'm happy because I'm kicking the shit out of that guy. It doesn't make me happy. And if you do a show only once or twice a week, you should be able to beat my numbers because it's a rarity thing. I'm on every day. People get tired of me. But that doesn't make me feel good because if you do a show obsessed with me and I'm on your brain and I'm the only way you can make a living, then your numbers going down under mine means I'm not the draw I used to be. And that, that happens. That's normal. I've gone through those phases, but that kind of sucks. So I don't endorse my biggest haters falling apart. It shows that I'm not what I used to be. But hey, we live, we learn, we grow. We find our next avenue for success. That was a poke. Don't get mad. Boy, I have a handful of you over on YouTube really stirred up today. I've got you guys really triggered today, don't I? Stop feeding my ego. I'm just too good for you. People are going to think that you guys are literally my spies, that I pay you to make me look like the puppet master. It's not accurate. Pool Scam Sam wants to know, who's drunker, Gino or Cheese? Wow. I think I'm going to say, and no disrespect, I think I'm going to say Cheese. I think I'm going to say Cheese is drunker than Gino. Or I think at least Cheese would admit drunkier and drivier than Gino. Again, to say the very least about the whole thing. Cheeseburger Pie says winning. No, I wasn't saying that you being drunker than Gino is you know what? Take it however you want to take it. Pool Scam Sam says Cheese is more successful than Gino. You didn't ask me who's more successful. You asked me who's more drunk. Those are two different questions. All right. And you would have gotten two different answers.